Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Oaklawn Park here on the special Monday program. It is the 24th of February, 2025. We're going to look at the stakes races on the program from Oaklawn, but before I get on to that, remember, please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Remember to join me this upcoming Saturday for an extravaganza of racing on both sides of the coast. We have the Gotham here in New York, the Fountain of Youth, and the Santinian Handicap, so I can't wait for that. But let's look at the stakes action here on this Monday program from Oaklawn races 4 and 9. The fourth race, it is the Commodore Overnight Stakes. It's going for a $145,000 purse, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of six horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the dirt course. I take the number 5 horse Osborne as a top selection. 5-2-3-6 for me in the superfecta. 5-2-3-6 super. Top selection of 5 horse Osborne. This 6-year-old gelding by Tapiture. Ron Moquette trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the mount. Ran the horse most recently on 23rd January locally. 6 furlongs in overnight stakes, which they've been running a lot of these kind of races at Oaklawn this season, and they have quite a few charted for the remainder of the meeting. But that day, he finished second by 7.5 lengths. The winner was much the best that day. This horse didn't have the best beginnings, didn't have the best, turn of foots in the lane, had a low interference, and it just wasn't a recipe for success. It didn't come up as tough as the last overnight stakes. Refreshing here with a better outside post where he does his better running style. I think he could find a trip to win. Going a mile here on the 21st of December, an optional 50 claimer. He ran terrifically. He won by a length. He had a very good breather to the three quarters, which got him to the wire first. He quickened him nicely, and he got the job done. A very good race for him with the 92 buyer that day. And then prior to that, Churchill in November, 6.5, and optional 100. Finished third by 3.5 lengths that day. He was one, just couldn't get the good turn of foot that day. Um, you know, if you look over his races, at Churchill in the fall, he just wasn't getting there, with the best turn of foots. But if you look at his past races locally, he's 9 for 2 on the tracks. He's a workhorse here. He has two victors, one two back and one quite a few seasons ago in 2023. But refreshed here, training well. I think he could find the winner's circle first. The 2 horse Booth, I think, is your second likely sooner for Eric Asmussen and Steve Asmussen. He ran that overnight stakes here a few weeks ago, the similar race that a lot of these horses are coming out of. And this horse finished fifth by 8 3/4 lengths that day, and he just never quickened up that day. Prior to that, in a Hupshaw 100, right before Christmas locally, he finished fourth by 4 3/4 lengths, where again he had a very troubled trip. He probably would have got a better place late, but I don't think he was going to win. But he needed the space to open, which he didn't get. But he won a very nice lines race in December at Churchill, going 6.5, winning by 1 3/4 lengths off the bench. He flew home. He likes this track. He broke his main here last February quite nicely in the SOP. He's training quite nicely. I think with a smaller group, he should find a trip to win also. Let's use him in the pick three here. But to recap my selection for the fourth from Oaklawn's to Commodore, going to take the 5 horse Osborne, give kudos to the 2 horse Booth, 5-2-3-6 Super, 5-2 in the multi race. The featured, where are we now? The featured ninth race now from Oaklawn. It is Dixie Belle Stakes. It's going for a $150,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. 8 horses are going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs in the Dixie Belle. I'm going to take the number 4 horse. You'll be back as a top selection. I'm going to go 4-8-7-3 in the superfecta. 4-8-7-3 super. Top selection 4 horse. You'll be back. This 3-year-old by Practical Joke. Tom Amos trains. Christian Torres gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently on the 29th of December at Oaklawn, a mile in the mud in the year's end. Around 2 turns, he finished second by 3/4 length, and he was with them early on, stalking, had the lead, got overtaken, grinded out to the wire. Jenkins just had the jump on this horse, but she ran her heart out. I think cutting back and trip is going to be the key to this horse's return to the winner's circle today. She'll see a strong pace to close up into, and I think from where she's drawn, she could find that trip to get to the winner's circle first. But I didn't think it was a half bad race in the year's end. I would like to see her maybe run at a 1 turn mile when she gets back up north again. But she ran 30th of November at the fairgrounds. Prior to that, 6 furlongs in the main specialweight. And guess what? She got her picture taken that day by 1.5 lengths that they come from mid pack. She was a little bit wide, but she grinded out to the wire and concentrated to the task. A very good race for this horse that day. And then on debut at Churchill last June, 5.5 in the main special weight. She finished fourth by 5 1/4 lengths that day. She just kind of stalked and she really never got going, but she's really improved a lot since then. She's training well at the fairgrounds quite nicely. Back to a sprinting trek. I'm going to use her on the ticket. I think the 8 horse Miss Martini for Steve Asmussen and Keith Asmussen can win also. Most recently on the 20th of December locally, 6 furlongs on the mud and main special weight. It was a success, won by 4 3/4 lengths, dueling on the front end. Set some good fraction. The pace might have melted down a little bit late. But she kept to the task. A very good race for this horse that day. Prior to that, ran at June at Churchill going 6 furlongs in the main special weight. We're finished second by 2 1/4 lengths. Atomic City had the jump on this horse, but this horse, she really gained some decent ground late. Training well locally, coming here at 4 to 1 second off the bench. Another horse, I'll give a shot on the pick four ticket. But to recount my selection for the ninth from Oaklawn now, it's Dixie Belle. Gonna take the full horse. She'll be back. Give kudos to the 8 horse Miss Martini. 4873 Super, 4-8 in the multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everyone.